Chris, chatting for KaijuPop.com, where today we're having a look at First Strike, a game that's been out for a little while, but this is the 1.1 update to First Strike that adds a few little bits and pieces and significantly brings this to phones as well, so you can now play it on iPhone and select Android phones that are capable of running it, whereas before you could just play it on tablets. So that's new and interesting enough to warrant having a look. Oh dear. I'll have a look at that later. So First Strike, if you don't know, is a sort of fast-paced, real-time strategy game about global nuclear war. Sort of imagine Balance of Power, but an awful lot faster. Or kind of, I don't know, Missile Command, but more detached, I suppose. The idea is you have different superpowers, and the different superpowers and their capabilities kind of dictates the difficulty of the game. There's kind of Risk-like elements to this. Risk, I mean the board game, in that your starting position on the globe makes a good deal of difference. So it's like Australia is a very difficult territory to play because you know, of their low tech levels at the start, but they're also sort of tucked away at the bottom and out of the range of most people's attacks, so they can be the hardest to polish off, kind of like that. I'm gonna go with Russia here because I need to satisfy their win conditions. Also, they're easy to play as. There's kind of an unlock system here where you know, there's a bunch of little achievements, and the achievements unlock new countries to play as. So you kind of want to occupy different territories as different countries, or you know, win as a country twice and such like. So I'm gonna plump for Russia here just to get the twice winning achievement here. I'm also gonna bring down the enemies on the number of opponents in this game to 2. There's 2 reasons for that. First of all, if you play with 2 enemies, the game takes about 10 minutes, so just for brevity's sake, whereas if you play with a fuller roster of enemies, it can take a little bit longer, like anything up to 30-40 minutes. Also, the kind of unfortunate thing here is that bring the enemies down to 2, just because the only kind of bum note about this, well, not port, but this update to the phone version of the game is that with a lot of enemies, when the game gets busy, it really chugs. Or it does on this anyway. I'm playing on an iPhone 5, so not the newest of hardware, but it did really chug for me when I was playing with 5 opponents, I think. So let's go with 2 and let's get going. So when the game kicks off, as it does eventually, that timer goes off there. You have a bunch of territory here. You can spin around the globe. You want to zoom in, zoom out, but you want to get going really, really quickly. You tap on one of your territories, and there's a few things you can do. You can build missiles for them. You know, either IRBMs or ICBMs, which have different ranges and different sort of values attached to them. You can attack if you have the resources to. Or you can do what I'm doing here, which is research new technology. The research tree is really, you know, I mean, you have to make your decisions really quickly, so, you know, it's difficult to talk too much about them. But they're essential for kind of figuring out, you know, they do things like let you see further, you know, give you early warnings of somebody else's attacks, for instance, or, you know, they might let you see what your enemies are doing at any one given time, and that becomes really, really important later on. Also, the new thing in the 1.1 update is that if you fill up your research tree, then you're able to... Oh shit, they're already on the attack over here. That's no good. Then you are able to... I'm going to launch my cruise missile here. You build a cruise missile, you can use that to take out anything that's heading your way. Yeah, once you've filled up your research tree, you're able to build a super weapon, which is the new deal. One of 3 different super weapons, depending on which tech tree you advance down. And, you know, that's basically, it's not quite a win button, but it does really make a huge difference in the tides of war here. So now I've sort of shored up my northern front here. I'm going to build a lot of missiles. We also need to build cruise missiles. They're really important. As you just saw, somebody sort of, well, Western Europe took the chance of launching an attack early on. So because I had a cruise missile, I was able to defend against that. Let's expand further into Asia here. Obviously, when you have more opponents, then there's less of the map to move into, and it becomes much more of a battle of attrition. The first game I played, I was playing as America, I think, against almost a full roster. But I mean, what happened was, with that, we wound up finishing the game half an hour later. I was, all of North America was toast. So I wound up actually, playing out of Africa and winning the war as America, but based in Africa. It was kind of nuts. So what I want to do, I'm not really launching any little attacks. I can send one missile from one territory out to attack as a specific target, but I don't really want to do that. What I want to use is the first strike, which is when I've built up enough of a sort of an arsenal. I want to hit the first strike button, which is already ready for me, and then I want to, just launch. The first strike basically launches every missile that's within range of a target and sends it hurtling towards that point. So that's kind of what you want to do. That's what really sort of sets the pace. And really, once one territory uses the first strike, then it kind of means, it's all downhill from there, basically. It kind of means shit's on, and then at that point, wow, somebody took out Spain there. Yeah, it kind of means shit's on, and I guess shit's going on if Spain's being taken out, so let's do this. When you use the first strike, one thing I like is that you have to hold your thumb over the target for a few seconds, which is like, it just makes you think of, hey, do you really want to do this? Because you're gonna really screw some stuff up. And as you can see, the different cities being destroyed, it gives you readout of the casualties and how many people have died with that attack. It's very dark. It's a very dark game, as opposed to anything that's about nuclear war is gonna be. This is also one thing of note, certainly with the original iPad release. No, take that. Too late. One thing of note about the original iPad release was that, or the original tablet release, I should say, was that a portion of the proceeds were actually donated to anti-nuclear proliferation charities. So, that's a cool thing. And there is, despite the fact that, hey, blowing shit up is pretty fun in this game, it's also got a kind of a serious message, and that's neat. Yeah, so basically things are kicking off, and it doesn't look good for Europe right now. Sort of an opponent goes out in one of two ways. They either sort of quote-unquote give up, or I think really we need to take out, like, is that Hungary down there? It's good at teaching you geography, because I think that's the only part of Europe that's left. Oh, no, but most of... Oops. Most of my stuff's actually falling into Africa accidentally. Yeah, either an opponent just bows out, or they get completely obliterated, but it's not looking good for my western front here at all, like in central thing here. There's a cooldown effect that kind of lets you reclaim territories that have been hit by radiation and hit by attack. It makes them inhabitable, I guess, in the within the context of the game's fiction. So that's cool and that's useful. But I'm advancing through here, and yeah. One thing you don't know at the start of the game is just actually who you're playing against. And there's a missile coming in. Is that going to affect me? I think it is. No. It's just going to affect the poor. Oh, am I playing against America, I guess? Just a little bit, you can see. Oh, we're playing against Brazil, so that's their territory down there. Brazil's a tricky one from Russia because they're quite far away. But yeah, I mean, it's very dark. It's very, very detached. I think like that's the thing they're going for. The fact that the casualty readouts are, you know, just very, very cold numbers in terms of projected casualties. How many people, how many lives you're destroying. You know, it's you know, there's a power to that. Which is great. And yeah, we have reviewed, if you want to go back and look on kaijupop.com, do a quick search for First Strike. We have reviewed First Strike and reviewed it very favorably. Jason reviewed it for us back when the iPad version came out. It's also, yeah, Western Europe, didn't take them long. We also have an interview on the website with Christian, who was the you know, co-founder of Blindflug, who made this game, and the lead developer on this. So check that out as well on kaijupop.com. But yeah, now comes a quiet period of sort of restocking. I think both us and Brazil have calmly taken down Western Europe. But okay, so now I can research this tow missile, I think it is, that actually is my super weapon for what I'm going for here. Oh dear, that's not good at all. What do we want to do? Can I expand into it? Let's expand into Japan for, you know, close to home for kaijupop.com. And yeah, you can only research one super weapon in a game. So I've already chosen that now. That's just the sort of, you know, the tunnel I was going down here. But it still pays to research as much as you can the other trees as well, because they do give you that forewarning and heads up of if and when somebody's going into attack here. So I did get, yeah, that eastern board there was hit, so that kind of means you know, I only have access to one missile in that territory now, which is a bit of a bugger. But first, shall we chance our arm here? I wonder if we can actually get to Russia, to Brazil rather, and see if we can hit it. Oh no! Yeah, so that happens a lot. Like one team, you know, you go for a first strike on your side, and then suddenly, boom, they instantly retaliate. You know, that's kind of a frequent occurrence. So now I'm in trouble because I really need. There's a cooldown on each of your moves, so they've just launched missiles, or I've just launched missiles, and I really, pretty bloody quickly need cruise missiles. So I'm gonna break one down and quickly build. No, well, most of it's missed. Being fair, most of that's fallen short, so that's nice. Still, that's not good for me. So the only way to win, to really win, is not to play, of course. Yeah, we can't expand anywhere, really, can we? Yeah, we definitely. I'm gonna shore up my cruise missiles here and make sure that next time we'll be forearmed. So yeah, the one other feature that was added in 1.1 is in the top right corner of the screen here, just the fast forward button there. You can speed through time a little bit. Oh, so you're seeing the effects of my early warning system here that I've researched apparently. It gives you, hey, rocket attack imminent, and that lets you, you know, it gives you time to scope out where it is, and then you can go, right, brilliant, I'm gonna take out, you know, that with one of my cruise missiles, which I don't have. Crap. help. There we go. They're coming at me from both sides here. Aha! Right, now shit is really on. Because I can build a super cool mega missile here. And it should help me out. So yeah, the problem here is that Brazil's got a foothold in Africa, so I think probably it would be prudent to take out all of Africa over here. And again, as soon as I go, they go. Oh man, that sucks. But hopefully we'll be able to stop Brazil advancing into Russia here. Nuts. So you can see on the text crawl and the fact that the missiles are moving really slowly, it does chug a little bit. That is the sort of effects on playing with phones. I think especially if you have an older phone, I'm not sure this even runs on anything less than an iPhone 5, yeah, I mean, don't be surprised if it runs like crap, basically. That is kind of a bit of a bummer. A little bit. The game is still good enough that you're able to kind of ignore that and push through it. But it is a bit of a shame, especially, as I said, if you've got multiple opponents, lots and lots of opponents, it does get, you know, really, really difficult, you know, for the hardware to keep up. It's tricky. They've played a good game here because they've stayed on the west coast. But let's send this off and see how my pretty goes there. That was a dumb move, actually. I should have just sent one missile out just to take out that one territory in Africa. Again. It's a never-ending cycle of revenge recrimination, which is, of course, as you know, as petty as real-world war is. And let's keep going. That's the only thing you can do is mutually assured destruction here. We just have to keep going until we're all dead now. But there goes Lagos. So, you know, that's Africa out the picture. So, if Brazil want to win, they have to stay in Brazil, or South America anyway. What are we doing on the research trees? I think there's a couple of things that I haven't researched. Better spy works, you know, the country is currently blocked. Wow, yeah, so you can see the effects of my my pretty big weapon there. I think we're gonna use one more. So it's when your opponent also gets a mega weapon that you need to be deeply concerned. But as it is, and because we're playing with Russia, like their cooldowns are a little bit faster and whatnot, and the research happens a little bit quicker. So I've got a bit of an unfair advantage, and that kind of means I'm not in as much danger of you know, us battling it out with mega weapons and stuff. One thing that is still missing in First Strike, and that would be really cool, is multiplayer. I can imagine it being really difficult to do in a netcode perspective. I think if, you know, were this ever to come out on PC rather than tablet, you know, I don't know how hard it is to make this kind of demanding real-time strategy game multiplayer, you know, do it netcode-wise on iOS, but certainly if this ever came to PC, I'd love to see it in a multiplayer setting. Let's just fill up our research tree here. Might as well have everything while we're waiting for our latest. Oh, yeah. That's not good for Brazil there. Good for us, not great for them. Okay, so there's something coming over that way. So we need to head over here. No. Sure, I had loads of cruise missiles. they're too far out. Oh no, that's Kaiju Pop Tower is dead. Sorry, no more website. Let's get rid of Mexico here and send. Why not send the first strike out there as well? Because that's all that's left of Brazil, it seems. So. Oh, they're back in Africa. Oh, you saw it. Oh, you saw it. Oh dear. That's not good at all. That's really not good for... Oh, that's really bad. Oh dear. That's terrible. You can't. Dear. Uh-oh. Ah. Yeah, I'm feeling a little bit of the pinch here. Quickly get a cruise missile up and running. Oh yeah, that's taken out the American arm of the Brazilian government, I guess. We need to stamp all over South Africa down here. Looks like they got something here as well. To expand if we get a little bit closer to Africa. So yeah, this game's actually taking a fair while time-wise. I don't know, it's kind of, it's billed as a 10-minute RTS, which is a bit of a misnomer. I think, you know, even now, even with like some elements that are designed to speed up early gameplay, like the fast forward button, and to kind of hurry in and usher in the end game, like the super weapons. It's not, you know, it's not an instant quick fix kind of game. It does take a little while, but it is. Yeah, Brazil's given up. I've won. It is still kind of designed to enjoy these game sessions in a single sitting, and you know. I think it works that way. And I think if it was any faster, it would kind of lose a lot of the dramatic effect that it has. You know, it's good that you have ebbs and flows of freneticism and then just calm, and the music kind of picks up on that as well. So I've run twice with Russia, which means I've unlocked China, the ability to play as China. There's also this transmission thing down the bottom that you would gradually unlock letters to decode this message. That first one might be thanks. So yeah, there's that to figure out as well. And at the end, I just, you win with a question mark, because 51 countries have been destroyed, with what's that, 1.23 billion casualties. And 13 minutes of death and destruction there. So yeah, that's First Strike in a nutshell. It's you know, I think it's great that it's playable on phones now. Do make sure that you've got a nice Swish phone that can handle it, because it does chug a little bit every now and then. But it's a really great, punchy kind of experience that's well worth having. So the 1.1 update should be out by the time you're watching this. It comes out on June the 26th anyway, and if you've already got the game on tablet, then the 1.1 update is free and you'll be able to play it on your phone. But if you haven't got it already, then you should get it. Chris Charlton for KaijuPop.com. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.